Dinomira pa Jordani ekunangisisa kunyika yoyekenani uko kunemusha tichazorora kunyika iya kulenga uwashoma tichazorora ikweyo toimba riyo ramozisi na Jesu tichazogara kuma como akanaka uriko kupenya uko Kristu anotonga akuchina dima sorora tichazorora kunyika iya kulenga uwashoma tichazorora ikweyo toimba riyo ramozisi na Jesu tichazogara ndichashika koriniko ekukomborerwa nekuwana baba wangu na iye kugara tichazorora kunyika iya kulenga uwashoma tichazorora ikweyo toimba riyo ramozisi na Jesu tichazogara moyo wangu wafarira unoda kuyenda andi chichiro chouya ndashinga kufamba tichazorora kunyika iya kulenga uwashoma tichazorora ikweyo toimba riyo ramozisi na Jesu tichazogara tichazorora kunyika iya kulenga uwashoma tichazorora ikweyo toimba riyo ramozisi na Jesu tichazogara.
Tinakuchingamidzai vaduwa vateereri to this brand new show where we are talking everything about women in power, women empowerment, women in business, women in construction. And we are so excited because you are going to learn a lot and be motivated as well. My name is Rotina Musara, as all of you might know me. And here I'm joined by Tari, who is joining me today. Meet the people.
How are you, everyone? I'm so excited to be on this show representing the women in construction. My name is Tariro Kucherera. Okay, Tariro Gomonyo Kucherera, if you want it that way, because I was born a Gomonyo, then I married a Kucherera. So
wow.
but in the industry, they know me and they are fond of me as Tari.
Yes, and I'm fond of you as Tari. Tari takasiwana kubva kudhara
Sure.
uchiri muyouth, and we have enjoyed each other's company from way back.
Yes.
And it's quite interesting that wakachusa industry construction. You know, not many women are in construction. What made you want to do this?
I realized that it's one thing that I want, and I'm much more comfortable in construction, and I feel happy when I'm in construction. I think I realized this passion when I was still in college. By the way, I studied with Bindura University. I studied business studies majoring in marketing. So when I was doing my project, like that dissertation, that's when I realized that I was not interested in the mass marketing, you know, like selling sweets and, you know, like all those other things that can, you know, like be, that can be targeted on a mass market. So I realized that I was so interested in complex products. So my dissertation was about complex products. And I did the dissertation from scratch. I never looked for, you know, like they call it chituna, like whereby you just look for a dissertation which was done by somebody, then, you know, you alter it. I did my dissertation from scratch. So this is when I started approaching some other construction some other construction companies for my survey. So I did with Masimba Construction, you know, so it was Marion Roberts then. Then some other companies which were selling construction equipments. So that's when I became accustomed, you know, like with things of construction. So I approached Bazem, I approached Conplant, you know, like for my survey. And, you know, like I got to know of the mixers, you know, like the concrete mixer, the front end loader, the excavators and stuff. And, you know, these things, they fascinated me.
Wow.
Yes.
It's quite interesting because Mono akaita marketing, you would think, you know, they would end up just talking and talking to people. But maybe before starting our college, as a young girl, uchikura, waifunga kuti you end up here. What was going on in your mind and your future and where you want to be? Not really. But when I was growing up, I realized that I am one person with energy. I've got so much energy in me. So, you know, I would help, you know, like even the macho works at home, you know, like those masculine works I would do at home. And maybe I was pushed, you know, like towards that end because I'm born in a family of men. Okay. You know, I had 3 brothers. Now I have 2, you know, like the other one passed on. So, I would do all sort of work and I'm the firstborn. So, you know, like I was pushed towards that. My father is a painter, you know, like a professional painter. Then my grandfather was a builder. That's so interesting, Tari, because so I think, now you know, before I knew it. Now when you talk about it, so it's like an apprenticeship. Yes. For you, right? Because you are in the same industry, which your father was. I mean, I think it's a lesson to us, the viewers, as well, that, you know, sometimes when you are doing some things, your children are also copying. I mean, it reminds me of Jesus. He was also a carpenter. And you saying you took from your father, who was also a painter. And somehow this is already what you're doing as well. I think it's a lesson to fathers out there that it doesn't matter whether you have a girl child or a boy child. She might end up in the construction industry like Tari. So that's what happened. And, you know, like it happened, you know, like somewhat without me like planning a say, but it was something which was in me and I nurtured it as well. I realized that, you know, now I have gotten in my father's industry and probably, you know, like my grandfather's as well. When I had a big project by myself, you know, like the first big project that I did, I painted a double-story house in Waterfalls. And it was so huge then. I was, I think I was 22, 23 there. That's amazing. Yes, and it was a double story and it needed some scaffolding and it needed all that. It was a big project to me and it was a first on my own, like without somebody. Then at 21, 22, someone was painting a double-story house. How amazing can that be, Tari? I mean, I'm already inspired before you even start and finish your story. Wow. Yes. So,
I am one person who is determined. If I set my mind on something, I put all my energy into it. And not even anyone can convince me otherwise if I'm convinced myself. As long as I'm just right by God. And, it's like now that I'm married, if I'm right by my husband, then, if it pleases, it's like the family, if I'm not right by him, it's like I try to convince him, but then, it's like I try to be right by him and, it's like to be right by God. Then I get determined.
Wow.
I get determined.
Now that you talk about your husband, let's go back a little bit.
Okay.
The dating stage, how did that happen? Here is a woman in construction, and you are meeting somebody. How did you take that? How?
Not all men would take that as simple as that. This is the other reason why I am with Brian. His name is Brian.
Yes.
The first thing that I noted on him is someone who support me.
Okay.
Exactly. And he was comfortable with me, like being in the construction industry. Some other people who came, it's like we were behind him, who I would see that I think this one might have a problem. I would run for my dear life. There was somebody who even asked that, so, will you be able to, to tame yourself as a woman when you come back home?
Oh my goodness. And you're like, I'm a woman already. What are you talking about?
Yes. Because, it's like I hate my checks, like being born in a family of men and, it's like being friends with men and being in a male, it's like in a dominated industry. I had, like I had my self-checks that, am I not a tomboy or am I not? But now I'm more much convinced and, like some other people, I know you are, like you are as girly as you are, but you are so good in construction.
Yes.
Like I've proved myself to be so much good. Now I'm so much confident of myself because I really feel that I have done so much in construction to the extent that, for the past years that that I have been worked for companies, it was the job which was hunting me.
Yes.
Not not the other way, not the other way around. So I would have people calling me. We know that you are so good in this, like, and we join your, our company and this. So that's boosted my confidence. And the other thing is, I told myself that I will never ling around people who underestimate me or underestimate my intelligence. So I would concentrate on, like those friends and those peers and those associates who, like who believe so much and so highly on me. I've had a lot of people, like asking me to, to start a company with them, along construction side, like starting hardwares with them or starting a construction company with them. That's when I realized that, they actually see the potential in me.
Oh yes.
And I can do this by myself. So that's when I opened my construction company last year.
Wow. Well done. I mean, really, this is a woman who is doing it in the industry and she's enjoying it and she has started her own company in construction. How amazing can that be? You know what, Terry? I want to take you back a little bit.
Yes.
Wakapinda industry yewarume. Certainly Panama challenges wakasangana nawo as you were starting before 21, 22, double story painting, amazing work. There are challenges that you met. I mean, take us through that.
I met a lot of challenges and I still meet them now. But now it's now different that, when I meet them, I laugh at them. And, like some of the people, like I correct them. But I met, like my biggest challenge was people underestimating me. Yeah. Like when I wanted to do my first project, like I have said, some other people, like they will be comfortable with you coming aboard with a man, not you just presenting yourself, like for a construction job as a woman. So, like when I got that project that I'm talking about, the client said, I will not give you a deposit. Like I can only give you a deposit when you're halfway through.
Oh my goodness. And you know what?
So young and I didn't have money.
Because men don't have those challenges.
They don't.
Even if they're 18 years old.
They don't.
Here you are someone who is in that field.
Exactly. They don't. And like I as a woman, I have to put, like thrice or even 4 times, the effort that, our male counterparts, like have to put. So I needed money. So I would ask around from my relatives, from my friends, it's like from everyone around. Even those people who will have money, they would doubt and say, hi, it's like, what if you would fail?
Yeah.
It was a huge challenge until one friend, like, who believed in me, like, loaned me $500 to kickstart the project so that, like, I will be given the deposit. So, like, there's that doubt problem. And when I then later joined PG.
Yes.
I was into hardware sales, but I also majored, like in big tenders, like with major contractors, like who will be doing big tenders and mainly roofing.
Yeah.
I got so much interested in roofing. That's when I mastered how to be on top of the roof, how to walk on top of the roof, and how to do a roof. Right now, I can even look at a roof and see that this roof was not done properly. It's like, even when the roof cover is there, I can see that, like this roof.
I've seen pictures of you, Tari, on top of the roof.
Yeah,
and I've been mesmerized, and I want, and it's my desire to go on the top of a roof one day.
I'll take you on top of a roof.
Exactly.
One day.
So it's amazing how you constantly are growing. And to me, what is most standing out for me is you did business and marketing, and you moved towards construction house by association and of course by apprenticeship by your parents.
Yeah.
And you are here, you are talking about roofing, meaning that it has been a continuous growth for you.
It has been a continuous growth, and I have gathered experience over the years to the extent that now I can even read a plan, I can even come up with a BOQ, I can do this, especially like the hardware experience and working with contractors. It have given me so much experience, like that I can even, when I go around doing quotations, I do them by myself. It's like before I even contract someone or even like hire the builder, like to do the work. I can even if there are renovations or is building from the start, I can note that here we need this, we don't need this, and the problem is here. And I have gathered experience over the years, it's like working with some other people in that.
How have the men viewed you in the industry? It's not easy working in male-dominated fields. I was reading somewhere where it was saying the builders, contractors of Zimbabwe, there are about 3,000 members, and only female are 38, meaning it's an industry where there are men, it's male-dominated. How has that been for you? I mean, Varume Vese, I know the language, the words, so many things happen.
It's a struggle.
And the Antaman, take us through that.
It's a struggle, I tell you. It's a struggle, but now, you detect, like the kind of woman that you want to be,
All right.
It's like there is, you can be easily abused. Like verbally, and if I allow it, it's like whether it can even go physical. But I've dictated the kind of woman that I want to be, like towards that area. So I don't, I don't allow, like people to, to go vulgar, it's like when I'm around, it's like construction industry, like it's known for that, it's like well known for that. But I've dictated the kind of woman that I want to be, and it's like when you detect, it's like they will take you for who you are, and you can hear them say like when I was PG, there was one manager who would rightly say, like in the meetings, mimi munokundwa seini mukadzi like asingagoni kana kukwira pamusoro perufu kuti atore roof measurement.
Oh wow.
That's like it motivated me actually, like I take that as a motivation.
Yes,
It motivated me that I will climb on top of the roof and I will know these things. So I would go, like with the estimators, like those who do the timber the timber designing and fabrication. I would go with them at the site. We would, like they would teach me everything. And, like till I grew so much in the industry. And, the marketing side, it was actually a plus. Because the very moment that I joined, I remember when I joined PG, before 2 weeks, I was topping the graph, like of the salespeople, like they would write our sales figures on the, on the board. And before 2 weeks, I was already on top, and I was the youngest there, and I was the only female, like, on the kind of job that we were doing.
Yes,
I was the only female. I actually know of one big company, it's like one hardware, which does not take women for this particular they don't. Yeah, they don't. But to me, it was a plus because it's like I'm just a marketer, also by charisma.
Yes.
So I can talk. It's like I can talk and I can market. It's like when I have market, now having experience, I can market something which I know. So I've grown. It's it's really a struggle, I tell you. Like, people, they look at you and they they judge you from the door.
Yes, but I like how you have taken lemons and make them lemonade for yourself. And I think it's a lesson to our young women and the young people out there, that no matter the obstacles that you face in the industry, in the society, turn lemon into lemonade. You can do it. She's doing it. She's blazing. I've known her for a long time, and I know the quality of work that she does, and it's only inspirational like that. Tari, I know that there are doubts when someone just sees that you are female. How do you navigate those doubts?
I normally laugh it off, and I do laugh it off and say, like just yesterday, when people can even get surprised, especially if you go to remote areas, if they see you driving a manual car. Like a woman driving a manual car. So it's just like that, and even more like in construction.
Yeah.
I remember one friend of mine who was also into construction. She referred me to a particular client who wanted, like their ceiling had fallen off, and and they wanted painting in their ceiling fixed. So my contact was forwarded. I called the lady. Then she said, "Oh, but you're a woman." I remember that specifically. Will that come out? And they will also think that you being a woman, you don't do the job. You can't do the job. But then, they would want to see you holding the brush, like painting the house, like practical. And they don't ask that of men. If a man is a contractor, like they are comfortable with that. They don't even know how to paint. They don't even know how to do the plumbing. They don't even know how to do the construction work. They are comfortable with that. They don't even ask.
This is a question that I've been asking myself. I don't even ask if you're qualified.
Exactly.
I don't even ask if you know.
But if it's me, if it's a woman, they will ask you. And I will have. And if I'm meeting Rotina for the first time, I will have to carry, like my paint soiled overalls with me. Then my paint soiled safety shoes with me. So that Rotina but still Rotina may choose to say, no, these are not yours. They are your husband. So now that God blessed me with a supportive husband, sometimes when I say that Rotina, I might not convince them. Even if I try to explain, I give them pictures, I give them references, they will not understand Rotina. I'll bring my husband along. Then my husband will be here. Then we'll be talking to Rotina, and the Rotina is happy. There are some other people that you will never convince. But there are some other people that you will never convince. Then there are other people, it's like who are, it's like who are now taking it, and like they get convinced when you tell them, no, I can actually do this thing, and it's like sometimes you actually demonstrate, I can actually do this, and show you them the picture. But even with the pictures, they will say, you have just taken a brush just to be taking a picture. But it's something that I can do. It's a way, especially now, now I get overwhelmed with projects sometimes. And sometimes if I have many sites, I can even go and do the work myself at the other sites. And, it's like the most important thing, even if you don't see me holding a brush, you will see me checking the quality. And me knowing that, it's like this brick which is there was not supposed to be there, it's supposed to be there.
Yeah.
This pipe which is there was not supposed to be there, it's supposed to be there. I think it's fair enough, and it's good enough. I would so much wish, and I would be so happy if the world can embrace women in construction. And it's like who come actually to trust and you know, it's like you leave the doubt outside. You know, the much, you know, it's like the much more hating part is, you know, it's like some women, you know, they will even doubt you more than the male counterparts.
Right.
Yeah,
Right.
and it's.
And what would the woman say or do, you know, and to doubt you, your capacity and your capabilities?
They can say it outright, like say, no, women cannot do this work. You know. Even if they are not your client, you know, it's like some other women, they can see you, like, I'll put it in Shona. Like some other women and men, they will see you like
all right.
Exactly. Some other men, you know, like they actually take it as a compliment. Like they think they are complimenting you. I'm sorry.
You know, that statement has been thrown at me, and I'm like,
hey,
could drive a 4x4 and I'm like, no, I'm a woman. I'm a real woman. And I want to argue that. But you know, shout out to Brian. It's the power of having a supporting husband. And knowing the power that your wife has and capitalizing on it and supporting them in the business. Ndozvakangotikoshera sevakadzi kungosiwa kuti murume wedu ari kufamba nesu anesu panguva dzese ari kutisapota in our dream and in our vision, and that's really important, and we give the shouts to Brian for that. Okay, Tari, now I want to come back kumuri uku.
Okay, kumuri.
The work-life balance.
Yes.
Ndakutanga from just, you know, hama dzemurume, hama dzako, you know, and then we go on to talk about your children and all.
Okay.
Hama dzakazvitora sei kuti mudzimai ari kuuya mumusha anenge achikwira roof achifamba nevarume.
The funny part is my family ndo inenge you know, they were somewhere there, though, you know, like the background, you know, like, so they were, you know, like my father expected my brothers, you know, like to be on the forefront, but my brothers, you know, like they are not like, you know, like, as much keen as I am. So
surprise,
you know,
surprise.
You know, he had to, you know, start to grasp that and say, okay, this was what we have. Yeah, exactly. The daughter is the one who is running with the stick.
Yes,
exactly. But with my in-laws, you know, they are God-given. Those people, they are God-given. I tell you, you know, they've been so much supportive, and you know, like they look so excited about, you know, like my father-in-law, you know, like he would ask, so what are your plans? You know, like when I then thought of registering, you know, I've been doing this, you know, like since 2011, 2012, and you know, like as a side hustle. But then I registered my company like formally last year.
Wow, congratulations.
Thank you so much. Thank you so much. So when I registered the company, I remember my father-in-law asking me, so what are your plans? You know, he was so excited. What are your plans? So what are you doing? And I was telling him, you know, it's like I'm increasing my client base. Then, you know, it's like we will then look into tenders, you know, it's like, government tenders. And, you know, we're going to be a big construction company. He was so happy. And I tell you, I remember when I got married, I think it was the first year or was it the second year? He even called me and, you know, and he referred the client. So I can imagine, it's like what that client was told. You know, my daughter-in-law can do this. You know, exactly. You know, they are God-given, I tell you.
Amen.
And I really thank God for that. You know, I don't know what I would have done if they, because I really know what happens out there. You know, it's like if a daughter-in-law is, you know, it's like wears pants. You know, like they are into construction. Yeah. But you know, they are really supportive and they so much support me. And I remember, you know, it's like there is also Sekuruvake, like his grandfather. When we went there, I think was it for introductions or something like that. Because I remember them asking, then he said, she's into construction. He was so excited. He was so excited. He said, you know, you know, they were so excited. So, you know, I just want to thank God.
Yes.
On this one, I thank God. I really thank God. I wake up every day and I thank God for this.
And, you know, construction also entails you traveling. Kufamba, uchisiya mori, and so forth.
Exactly.
What impact? Shinokita say, I'm away for 2 weeks, I'm coming back, and so forth. How do you balance all that nexus?
It's, you know, it's one thing which is which is so painful. I don't want to lie, but you know, I found a balance within. Since now, you know, it's like it's my company, I make a balance, you know, it's like on the projects that I take. Like if I go busy maybe for 3 months or so, I then take a break, or even for a month.
Okay.
You know, because I tell you, sometimes I can go busy. You know, it's like there are some other times whereby we actually, you know, we actually need to move from home, you know, like stay closer to the project, and you know, it's like those traveling that you're talking about. Sometimes we can even have so early mornings, like our early mornings can be as early as 3.
Wow.
Exactly.
Oh my goodness.
And coming back around 9, 10, you know. So there, you know, it's so much challenging. I tell you, you know, it's like to balance, you know, it's like the social time with the kids, nature. But I always then make time, you know, it's like, and I thank God for the Sabbath.
Oh,
Because, you know, after all that, if it was not for the Sabbath, I don't know what to do.
Why don't you
Exactly.
7 days a week.
But then, you know, when the Sabbath comes, you know, it's like everything comes to a standstill, and we are going to church with my kids, and they are so happy, and, you know, and I also balance, you know, say, like being a wife also. I cook for my family. You know, fortunate enough, I'm that woman enough, you know, it's like that girly enough to enjoy cooking.
Oh yes.
I enjoy cooking. You know,
I saw the buns that you met the other day. Yeah. I can't do that, really.
You know, people, they get surprised, especially in my industry, to learn that a construction woman, you know, actually enjoys baking and cooking, like all those variety of foods. You know, it's like, while some other office women cannot even do that.
Exactly.
It's something which I enjoy, you know, which I enjoy doing. And whenever I would find time, I take my children out. So I balance my things. And being a woman, it also means that I'm also a mother.
Oh yes.
So at one time, you know, it's like I will be a nursing mother, and I may be a pregnant mother.
Let's talk about pregnancy.
Pregnancy in construction.
What happens with pregnancy in construction? Because in my mind, I'm thinking, really. So I'm 5 months pregnant. I need to go and assess the roof.
Yeah. Fortunately for me, when I'm 5 months pregnant, I will be so much full of energy than when I'm, you know, like in the first trimester. So I will be able to do all that. But yeah. Of course, I might not do as much as men do. You know, it's like then I will have to delegate, but I will be at the site. I can do the early mornings. What I only need to do, because I will not be having as much energy as I will be having now. So what I do whenever I want to have another baby, you know, it's like I look at my tenders. Into my potential tenders, you know, like for that year. Then I calculate where I can place the pregnancy. Right. So, you know, like this have worked for me. And also a supportive husband. Yeah, worked for me. And about pregnancy and construction, I just want to highlight, you know, like some incidents which once happened. And there was, you know, like some job title, you know, like some vacancy that I so wanted, you know, like within a particular big company in the industry. So, you know, I always coveting that post. Then it became vacant when I was 6-7 months pregnant. And me, I grow big. You know, like you wouldn't mistake me for a pregnant. I will be so much pregnant. So they called me, you know. I saw the vacancy. I forwarded my CV. And in the construction, we know each other, especially when you make, you know, not like when you make some, you know, like some news and something. So, you know, I had actually done a big project with them some other time with one of my clients. So they knew me. And when they saw my CV, they were excited. They called me, you know, it's like every excitement was, you know.
It was obvious.
Exactly, it was obvious. And what, until they called me to the interview. I went there with my big tummy when I opened the door. And the big tummy, you know, like was in front. You know, they couldn't help but laugh. Because the job, you know, it's like also entailed, you know, traveling and stuff. But I could handle.
Right?
Yeah. But
and I think this is one of the stigmas that are in the industry. Yes. You are pregnant and people feel that you cannot.
You will be pregnant for 10 years. Yeah, like you will be pregnant for 10 years.
I mean, pregnancy disappears at some point. And you can always and your brain still work when you're pregnant. Exactly.
So, you know, it's like those are some of the challenges that, you know, it's like if people see you pregnant, you know, they'll say, oh my God, you know, our project will not go well like when she is. But how about your husband who's coming to you, whose wife is pregnant?
Exactly.
You know,
because they are pregnant.
Yes, they are pregnant as well. They are pregnant as well. So, you know, it's one of those issues that I would wish the world, you know, would, you know, I wouldn't mind if I would have a daughter one day, and the daughter, you know, like would want to dwell into, I would want to delve into construction. I'll be happy. I will be happy, and I will encourage them.
All right, Tari, I mean, it's not a myth that, you know, the industry also requires physicalness, a bit of physical and things like that. How do you handle that being a woman?
Okay. I handled it so much well. Like I have highlighted in the past that, you know, it's like naturally I'm full of energy.
Yes.
And so but I also think, you know, I also think technology today, you know, there are equipments, you know, it's like which can make, you know, it's like the work easy. Like, you know, it's like we don't have to ram like the concrete with, you know, those you know, those manual jackhammers. We can always use the electrical ones, and we can always, you know, make use of the, you know, we now don't have to climb on top of the drums when you are painting. You know, it's like they are flexible ladders, you know, it's like which you can just fold them, you know, it's like in a flexible manner, you know, and you can even sit whilst you are, you know, it's like you are rolling your brush, and, you know, there is a, you know, it's like a wide variety, you know, it's like of construction equipment, which makes everything easier. And then after all, when you grow, like when your company is growing, like now, you can always, you know, it's like you can always have workers, you know, it's like who can do, you know, it's like the manual work for you, whilst you know, it's like
you know, I like that you say when the company is growing. I've noticed that most female CEOs and company owners, they don't employ so many women, and I've always been wondering why. What's going on here? I would think that if I own a company, I would have more women working for me.
Yes.
How is that?
I think it's borders on the myths, you know, it's like the general myth that women cannot do that. And, you know, it's like people also fear, you know, it's like the women taking the maternity leave, and, you know, it's like the women, you know, like the women waking up and saying, you know, my child was vomiting, so I can't come to work. And I think, you know, it's like where we are going, like, as the world, where the husband is so much supportive, like mine, you know, I thank God for him.
Yes,
I thank God for him. Right now I have come here, you know, it's like I can actually tell him, you know, I have an early morning. Can you help me with the kids? And he can do that, you know. So I think if men were that supportive, you know, it's like to their wives, I don't think, you know, it's like people would be having problems, you know, it's like employing women.
Yes, I think that's very critical that you say that, Tari, that we need men who are supportive of their wives, who know when it's time to let the wife be, the life go, and they can stay at home and even look after the kids, and they can also navigate that household. An extra pair of hands is always needed when we are talking about women in the male-dominated industries, right? You know, we have talked about you and we have talked about your company, but we didn't even get the name of the company. We want to know you. We want to know where to come to. Yes.
The name of the company is Trimesi Construction.
Wow.
Trimesi Construction, I've, you know, is so much inspired on women.
Oh,
you
yes.
know, like, you know, Messi, you know, is my mother's name. So, you know, it's like she inspired, she inspires me a lot. She's one strong woman that I've encountered.
Yeah, you've said that quite a lot.
She is one strong woman. You know, when I will be coming to work, like whenever I have the early mornings and what she will be with the babies. You know, it's like, mind you, I have 2 children who are under 3 years.
Yes.
2 boys.
Two
you
boys.
know, she'll be handling the boys, putting them on her back. You know, she is just a one. Exactly. So I named the company after her. It's Trimesi Construction.
Oh, lovely.
Yes.
And, you know, how did your husband take that? Naming after, you know, in our culture, we name
after mother-in-law. And you know, it's like a mother-in-law. You know, is one sacred person.
It's one sacred person.
What of the animal? He's one supportive guy, like I've said. And, you know, it's like, you know, when I one friend of mine, it's like is the one who pushed me
Yes.
to register the company formally. So when I told him that I'm registering the company formally, he said, no, you can put the names that you want.
Oh yeah.
He is one supportive guy, and it's like he let me shine. Like he let me be, he's that supportive.
Wow.
So he didn't have a challenge with the name at all.
Wow, well, thank God for partners who support each other. It's amazing because when I was reading around women in construction and all, I came upon this verse, 1 Chronicles 7, verse 24, of this woman who was called Shera.
Okay.
Yes, in the genealogy, she's the one who was named, who was called out. I mean, we know kuti muBhayibheri genealogy no from Varume, but Shera akaiswa ipapo, and one of the reasons is because Aka established 3 cities. She built them. 3 cities. And the other one, the last one, is actually named after her. Uzen Shira. So you are in a blessed
industry. I'm going to be one Shira one day.
One Shira one day. We want, we want women to be out there. We want women to build cities. We want women to be there. And, thank you, Tari. You've opened our eyes. I'm so excited about the future. And you are 100% Christian, and you are 100% woman, and you are 100% into construction. Thank you very much, viewers, for joining us. Until next time, have a good day.
How are you guys? My name is Tariro Kucherera, or Tariro Kumunyo. The rest of the people, they know me as Tari in the industry. In the construction industry. So today I'm going to be walking you through the practical part of construction. So I'm going to be walking through you the ceilings part, the construction part, the tiling part, and the painting part, and the rest of construction. Like, we are a one-stop shop for construction, trimester construction. So today I'm going to walk you through about the rest of the things that we do when we are at work. So our ceiling white, we have to mix to thoroughly mix. We have mixed it up, we thoroughly mix, and we also mixed with water because ceiling white is water-based. So we also mix with water. So now when I'm doing my cornices, I take my sizable brush. It's like normally the 75mm, the 3-inch one, it can do, or even the 100mm, the 4-inch one can do. The door frame, we come with our sandpaper. Normally I use the medium one. It does, a lot, on most surfaces, the 80 grit one. So what we do in painting, we don't just take the brush and paint your things, but we first do preparation first. And to us, preparation matters because it determines the outcome of the whole project. So if our door frame is like this, it's made with mortar, it's, there's dust on it and everything, and some of the surfaces, they are not even. We use the sandpaper. Okay, so we are here now. We are doing our ceilings. As you can see, it's a rhino ceiling, meaning that we are using rhino products, the rhino boards, and it's like we are plastering with the rhino set and using the rhino bond as well. The rhino boards, they are so good to use in the fact that you can do whatever you want, like the design ceilings that are being done these days, and the dropped ceiling, you can see that we have done so much good designs here. And the rhino set, it will then give a smooth finish. I like the rhino ceilings for the fact that they are gypsum products, and gypsum products, it's like they have this fire resistant aspect. We are here now, guys. We are doing skimming. is actually a good thing which can be done to your walls so that you can have a perfect finish, so that when then you apply paint of your own choice, your walls will be perfectly schemed like this one. And it really requires a good skill. Like it have to be perfectly smooth. No bumps should be there, and no spillages like like the droppings of rhinosate, which can be evident in some other walls where a bed work would have done. Just look at our walls; they are smoothly done. And when somebody is painting, there is even like less work to do in terms of preparation because the walls they are already done. We can compare them to the ones which are not yet schemed, like these ones. They are the rough walls, which when required to be painted like this, they require a lot of paint, unlike when we have schemed our wall like this. Okay guys, here we are on the rooftop. We are on the deck. This is such a beautiful building that we have here. So when you decide to have a deck on your house or on your offices, you should engage people who know what they are doing in terms of waterproofing. These edges, if they are not done nicely, they can tend to leak inside the roof. Or if you don't apply the right things and the right components, including like the likes of bonding liquid and stuff, you also have your water coming up or even coming down the building. So a proper drainage is needed also for your deck, so that that your ground will be spilling your water from way end to way. Like you can see here, it's another form of a drainage pattern that we have put through here, so that when rain comes and like it all rains here, our roof will not be flooded, and thereby letting the water inside our building there. So I'm also going to show you another part of the roof there where we have put chroma deck, the roofing sheets. It's also another type of roofing which is mostly used these days for the fact that it's easy to install and it's durable. Though the roof concrete tiles, they are even like that, they're much more durable type of a roof. But this one, it also comes cheaper. But then if you are using it on if it is a public building or an institutional building or a church or something like that, you have to use a proper gauge, like starting from 0.4. I would even advise the industrial gauge, which is 0.5 or 0.6, so that your roof will be strong enough. So I'm gonna climb here. Inside the roof. So on the rooftop, I have seen that most people, they love being on the roof. Like back then, we would climb on the roof for the simple fact of washing our carpet. But then, with this type of a roof, it's not the roof that if you install at your household, especially if you use a poor gauge. I've seen other people, like for the sake of reducing cost or something like that, they even go to the extent of using 0.3. 0.3, is not that strong, and especially if you tend to put your solar panels on top of the roof, you tend to put, it's like some other people, if they harvest their, their maize, they also put on top of the roof. But then if it is this type of a roof, you might then see it leaking sometimes from the nail holes. What I was going to say about walking on top of the roof, you also need to master the skill of walking on top of the roof. Like you can walk like following the trail of these nails, because you will be definitely sure that these nails, they also follow through a timber, a timber beam which will be underneath. So you are so much secure, or you have to put your foot in between here, so that you don't damage your roof. But let's say it happens, your roof has been damaged, then you call us, try Messi, my roof is leaking. What can I do? If it is leaking from the nail walls, or let's say it's even bad workmanship, a person, they are shaking their roof sheet, and their nail, they are not that consistent, and the nail moves, and it's like the nail is not mastered up perfectly. It can even leak from the nail hole. So what we then come in and do, if you want to, to fix your, and if they are small holes, we come through with our silicone. We come through, then we put silicone. It perfectly seals your roof leak, and you are perfectly good to go. Hi guys, we are here yet again. We can also do your plumbing. We do it so much perfectly. We do even in line with the recent trending, items in there. We are also there to advise you. We advise freely, especially myself. I love talking. So if you start talking to me, even if it's in relation to my, to my line of work, I will tell you everything that you might need to know. And as Chinese, we are well researched, and we don't stop to research. We research about everything, about the recent thing. Like recently, there's a particular client that we are doing sensor tapes for. We are removing the ancient basins, which have got brackets. So we are putting a granite top, which is almost similar to this. And we are also putting sensor tops, whereby the children, it's a school. So the students, they don't have to open the tape, with the recent viruses which are coming, like the coughs and the like, you don't have to touch the tape, like opening it and closing it. You just put your hand and you wash your hands, and when you pull out, the tape closes. Hello viewers, so that was us from Trimesi. We are a one-stop shop for all your construction, and you can have everything that you need within us.
Ndinoda kutaura kuti ndaponeswa ngero paro pamsana popemudza wake ndichagara kumushako ndaponeswa ngero parake renyenye ndaponeswa sendichiri mwana wake ndinofara ngekuti Jesu auya kundiponesa ngekuti kupenya kwakeko kuri kunditungamira ndaponeswa ngero parake renyenye ndaponeswa sendichiri mwana wake ndinotondera muponesi ndichiri kufunga ndiye ndiri kuimba nguva dzese ngerudo rukuru rwake ndaponeswa ngero parake renyenye ndaponeswa sendichiri mwana wake ndichamuona mambo wangu ndoita mutemo wake achiri kunditungamira dakara kumusha kwake ndaponeswa ngero parake renyenye ndaponeswa sendichiri mwana wake chiripo chiremba kudenga chinondimirira ini tichaenda ngekukasika kumusha wake wotenzi ndaponeswa ngero parake renyenye ndaponeswa sendichiri mwana wake ndaponeswa ngero parake renyenye ndichiri mwana wake.